donose. Jesam li još uvek sam bez ikoga, pusta opala.
Peter Langer, Nemačka, direktor Evropske Dunavske akademije i savjetnik organizacionog odbora u kandidaturi Novog Sada za Evropsku prestonicu kulture.
Danube is the main street of Europe. Is its potential used enough?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. It's a big chance for the process of economic, cultural, social and other kinds of development. But it's with a big potential, really a big potential. But I think we are at the beginning of this process. Mm-hmm. And you must have, that's one of my my lessons from the last years. You must have much patience.
Can Danube region be something like a mover, like a model for the rest of Europe?
I think so. That's the idea behind this motto of macro-regional strategies. Danube strategy is a kind of special development program for a very special part inside of Europe, with a common history, with connections on economic, on transport and other ways, and but with a big difference between the countries at the beginning and the countries at the end of the Danube. But these differences are the basis for this program, because the aim is to develop a kind of that this difference will be finished, will be was heißt denn abgebaut, will be that we have a kind of program to leveling this difference between the upper side and the lower side of the Danube.
Do you know one characteristic that is in mutual for all Danube cities?
A special kind of spirit.
Special kind of spirit.
Special kind of spirit. Sometimes I say we have a common phenomenon. For example, the coffee house, and we have coffee houses in Vienna. We have coffee houses in Germany, in Regensburg, or we have coffee houses in Budapest. We have coffee houses here in Serbia, here in Novi Sad, and in Belgrade, the Russian Tsar. And so on and so on, till the Black Sea, till Bucharest. And these coffee houses are a symbol for the Danube region as a melting point, as a symbol for the common cultural history, for all these things. It's also a part of the history of Habsburg on the one side, and the Ottoman dynasty, or the Ottoman empire on the other side. And it here in Novi Sad, that was part of the Habsburg side, and Belgrade was part of the Ottoman side. But this meeting of this big historical parts, that's also one of the big aims and chances of this region.
What's your favorite place of the Danube?
Novi Sad.
Really?
I have a very special relation to Novi Sad. I was here first time in 1997. Dark times, very dark times. But I was very impressed about the special spirit in this city, because, in Belgrade where was Milosevic, and here we had I think, independent city government. And Mr. Vurbashki, I mentioned it this morning, and he was no Milosevic. He was not member of the Milosevic party, and I felt a very special spirit of multiculturalism here, and of this special kind of freedom, really. And then I came back the next years, also 1990, when all the bridges were destroyed. I remember I met Mr. Tischma, Alexander Tischma, on the marketplace here in front of the city hall, and he came from his apartment nearby the Hotel Putnik, and when I met him, he said to me, "Peter, we don't speak about political affairs." It was really very crazy and strange. And I saw the bridges here, and I was invited from some members of the city administration, and they showed me the bridges, and I felt a little bit that they will say, "Oh, Peter, you're also a little bit guilty," and so. But it was very interesting time, and I was in Belgrade, and I met many students in nearby the Café Plateau. And so on, and it was a very important part of my Danube life.
Is there any chance to Danube become a cleaner river?
Oh, I hope so. That's also one of the most important parts. You know, in Ulm, the quality of water is like the water out of the, like in the bath or so.
Yeah.
I think it's let's speak about the situation, for example, in Ruse or in Vidin. But the people there, especially the young people, swim in the Danube.
Yeah.
In Ulm,
no?
They don't swim. Really?
We swim here.
It's really strange. The Strand here, no? Yes, I know it. It's full. Yes. But you are right. That's one of the biggest aims, to clean the water. But it's also a kind of you must go step by step, because you know we have in Germany we say in German Klärwerke. You know, was heißt denn das auf Englisch? It's very special, yes. Yeah. But you know, I think in Belgrade or in Kladovo or so, they are not. Yeah, here in Novi Sad, yes, but also not here. Okay, so that's one of the most important tasks in the next years, that they build Klärwerke in all these cities and regions along the river Danube. And so you can clean the water, and you have the same quality of Danube water at the Black Seal or at the Danube Delta, like in the Black Forest. Yes, but 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, we speak about such a time frame.
What Serbia should change to be a better place for living?
I think Serbia depends from the European circumstances. You know, some years ago, after the death of Djindjic, it was a very difficult time, and you cannot imagine that the integration of Serbia in the EU will make a fast progress. Now we are in another situation. You know, to build up the House of Europe is a very complicated process. I spoke about this patience you need to do it, and I think I am very astonished about it, because it's a very special political situation here in Serbia. But I think we are on a good way. The problems are economic problems. A big problem is, you know, you are a young guy, but I know that many young people from Serbia will go outside.
Yeah.
We have this special phenomenon of brain drain. Bulgaria, Romania. We have now in Germany the situation that the work market depends from the migration from these countries, also from Serbia. But on the other side, Serbia and Bulgaria and Romania, these countries need their young people to build up these countries, and so that's one of the big problems, I think so. And but step by step, we have, 20 years ago, you couldn't imagine that we are now in this situation of integration process in the frame of European of the big building of this House of Europe. Year by year, I think I'm totally an optimist, and I'm a convinced European, and I think we have no alternative. Yeah. We have no alternative. We in Germany have no alternative. You in Serbia, we have no alternative. We must cooperate in all fields of working, in all fields of culture, of economics, and so on.
Of course. We will maybe stop that brain train if we become a European capital of culture. What do you think about that? Can Novi Sad be a capital of culture?
I think when the institutions in Europe decide that Serbia is one of the countries with the possibility to have an application for this European culture, of this European capital of culture, that Novi Sad has a big chance. Mm-hmm. Because we spoke about it, I mentioned it, multiculturalism. The Vojvodina is really a kind of model region in frame of Europe, with all these ethnic groups, with the special history between Hungary, Austria, and the other side of the West Balkan and so on. You are a kind of center in this sense. And so, you have a big cultural history here, very important artists and so on. I think there's a good chance. This cultural capitals of Europe are not for the capitals, not for Belgrade or for Zagreb or so on, but for the other cities, and so. We will support it. We will support it. I offer that I be a kind of advisor for this process. I do it. I'm very convinced about it. And on the other side, this European cultural capital is also a big chance to show this Danube cultural connection, to show that the Danube is a kind of symbol for the European cultural policy and so on. We have many possibilities to show this.
What are real potentials of Serbia and Novi Sad?
For the European cultural capital?
Yeah.
The potentials. Mm-hmm. Novi Sad is a big university city. Mm-hmm. There are many young peoples. I think 40,000 students or 45,000 students at this university, and you have this big historical potential, like Petrovaradin, like your museums. You have a theater. You have very creative artists. You have very creative young people like you, and so on. And so I think that's the basis of this application, and you have good friends outside of Novi Sad, along the river Danube. I think so. Sure. So you can have all support. We will do it. One of the most important programs in the frame of my organization, this Council of Danube Cities and Regions, is to support such cultural cooperation. Mm-hmm. That's the reason that we support, for example, this next Danube Cultural Conference here in Novi Sad on 5th and 6th of May here. And that's also one step to this application for the European Cultural Capital. And on the other side, I know very well Pécs, Sibiu, Graz, Linz, and all these cities which were cultural capitals in the past, and they need it very well for develop their infrastructure all these possibilities. They need really the possibilities to promote their cities outside of the city in whole Europe. I remember Sibiu. Hermannstadt was a small city in Transylvania. Yeah. Nobody knows it. Nobody knew it. But now it's really a very good developed city as a kind of center of this part of Romania.
Can you compare Serbian cultural scene with cultural scenes of other countries?
I think one of the most important things are this kind of we spoke about it, of this kind of multiculturalism. So this, the influences of many tendencies of culture, of arts here here, for example, in Serbia. You have very special kinds of authors like Tishma, like Andrić, and so on. All these guys who brought us the literature and the special sense of this part of Europe to us in the other parts of Europe. I especially like guys like Boris Kovac, or we also have some. We have since 1998 a special kind of Danube festival in Ulm, the International Danube Festival, and Serbian artists played a very special role in this festival all the time.
Did you have a chance to see maybe any Serbian festival?
Yes, I was, for example, several times at the Exit.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, really. Last year, I was. One time I was in Guča. I was in Bitev, the Belgrade International Theatre Festival, also the Alternative Theatre Festival here in Novi Sad. I met here some very good friends from the Belgrade University of Arts, the second-handers, very, very fine musicians. And I met many guys also from the theater scene. You know, my wife is actress, and I remember very, very, very important and interesting evenings in theaters here in Novi Sad and also in Belgrade.
What kind of music do you like to listen, and how was on Exit Festival?
On the one side, classical music, and I like very much the big Hungarian componists like Zoltán Kodály and Bartók and so on. But on the other side, jazz. Jazz, and I also know some jazz musicians here from Novi Sad like Alexander Duin. And on the other side, I really like all kinds of gypsy music. You know, some famous gypsy music groups also from Serbia, like Bojan Markovic were in Ulm several times, and I'm also a fan of Goran Bregovic, for example. Since many years, we invited him several times to our festival, and yes.
Did you listen to the Tamburica orchestras?
Please?
Tamburica orchestras.
Yes, Tamburica orchestra. You know, it's the same like gypsy music groups in the restaurants in Budapest. When you hear in Novi Sad, you meet such a Tamburica orchestra. Like in I have a favorite restaurant here. It's Freila Blava. Blava Freila. Blava Freila? Blava Freila, okay. And there's always a Tamburica orchestra.
Only Tamburica.
Always.
In Novi Sad we have a jazz festival. That's how many years? 15 years?
Yes, I remember. I visited it some years ago because we have a old saxophone player from Serbia. He was situated in Ulm, Jovan Mikovic, and I was here with him some years ago. I remember. He's very ill now.
But he plays good still. Please tell me something about potentials of Danube Media Network.
You know, I remember some years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we founded such a Danube Media Network here in Novi Sad, and after it was a little bit complicated that we organized some following events and so. But now we are in a new situation. You know, as EU Danube strategy has a very special kind of governance structure. And one of the most important priority areas of this strategy is the field of building up institutional capacity, also of a kind of communication process that to promote the other aims, the economic aims, the aims in the field of ecological aims and so on. And so you need this media network, but you need it in a very, very special sense. We need independent media.
Of course.
Independent media, not this state media like in the former times in the socialism. And that's, I think, that's a very special task in the next years. And now we did some guys from Austria, from Germany, I also think from Serbia and from Romania, they discuss about a new relaunching of this idea of a Danube Media Network. I discussed it with some of the responsible guys from the EU Commission and from the institutions of the EU Danube strategy in Vienna, and I think we will support such a process now. But also, please be patient.
Only patience and patience.
Yes.
Okay.
But you must. It depends also that you are a part of this discussion process in the next time. You from
our
media.
TV station.
Novi Sad, podsjeti se da je grad, kad mu se sa ulica bitange sklone. Novi Sad, još zablista ponekad, kad 6 praznih crkava u glas zazvone.
What you like the most in Novi Sad when you don't work?
Oh, you know, I have many friends here, also very special friends, and I like it to sit with them in a cafe house, for example, and to discuss and yes, and to walk along the river. That's, and to look from Petrovaradin down to the city and to the river. I think you have a really very fine and good and sympathetic sides in the city, and I have good friends here, and so I have no problem to have my time here in Novi Sad.
Yeah, I'm sure that Novi Sad likes you. And when are you coming back again?
I think soon, in 2 or 3 weeks, and we must prepare now this conference on culture
until May.
Until May, yes, and so I will be here often the next time, like in the past.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for this interview.
Okay. Thank you.